What do you think it is?
I don't know. It looks like
Some kind of interference? Are you sure about it?
I have come here to kick ass, Shubal!
You okay? You right? That looked like it was quite fun. Can I have a go? You ready?
Go for it! Put on the glasses!
I don't know if that's what it intended, but that was quite fun.
Oh, that was so worth it.
Shall we talk about some movies now?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Maybe movies.
Bonjour!
Good evening.
And good night. I'm sure we've done that before, but repetition is the thing. It is Wednesday. We are Maybe Movies. My name is Max.
I am Sam.
And every month we pick a couple of films, rip out our main characters, drop them into the plot of the opposing film, and then discuss if a new film can be made with a different Prangtagonist. English
Prangtagonist, yes, of course we have.
English is my first
Flying
language.
left and right.
If you've been with us so far this month, you'll know that we've been looking at Big Trouble in Little China and They Live. And in this episode, we will be discussing Act 3 of our new version of They Live, called Big Trouble, featuring Jack Burton in place of Nada.
Indeed.
Very quick thing.
Yes.
Did a little bit of research.
Yeah.
There are 3 distinct versions of this story. 8 o'clock in the morning, which is the original short story.
All right.
Which I have now read.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's not very long. It's literally just over 5 pages long.
Oh.
And the protagonist is George Nada.
So now that it's both correct and incorrect.
Yes.
All right.
So we're both correct.
That's
Yeah.
nice. Yeah. Okay,
But I'll find it. I found it online.
I appreciate it. I do.
You can see obviously the elements that have became evolved. Completely different as to how he discovers that they exist, because it's such a short story. Doesn't waste any words. It just goes straight in with it.
I'm going to point out at this point, being a huge Stephen King fan, the more I learn about the history of this movie, the more I realise it reflects the history of the 10 o'clock people, which is a Stephen King story from the mid-90s.
Don't know that one.
It's a similar sort of story, but it's based around the idea of people who cluster outside of office buildings at 10 o'clock because it's their cigarette break.
Right.
And it's about the people who try to quit, fail, and then fall back into smoking, suddenly discovering that some of the people around them are not quite as human as they would seem to be.
Which, that automatically makes me think of the 70s Invasion of the Body Snatchers, people who don't know each other meeting on street corners.
Yes, because he's a huge Twilight Zone fan.
Yes.
Of course he is. It all makes sense. It goes round in a circle. Great big round circle. All round and round.
It's
like an onion.
It's here. I know it is. I can smell it. We're going to do a quick shout out, which I'm going to hand over to my good friend and colleague.
I'm going to do, of course, as soon as my mouth is full of popcorn.
That wasn't on purpose at all.
Give a big old shout out to a channel I'm really quite fond of called Movie Timelines. Not one of the biggest, but not one of the smallest at all. And their main show on the channel, they have a few, is simply Movie Timelines itself. It's an attempt to follow the timeline of various movie series and see if they actually make sense in the continuity sort of form. He has trouble sometimes, but it's really good fun to watch, and he knows what he's talking about. So please give him the time of your day and go and check out some of his videos.
I haven't got around to it yet, but I'm going to. Yes, I will give it a look. Are you ready?
I suppose so.
The third act is quite railroaded after a certain point. I think my first thing was, do we think we'd get a lot of backstory? You know, there's that nice quiet moment between him and Frank while they're in the hotel room.
Mm-hmm.
And he tells the story about his stepdad and things like that.
I don't see any reason why not. I mean, that's where the story's led us to this point. They're both holed up in a hotel room. exchanging stories, it seems like it's the appropriate time for it.
From that point on, as I said, it is a little bit railroaded because you've got Gilbert turns up out of nowhere, directs them to the meeting gets attacked, and then it escalates very quickly towards the end.
Would Jack ask questions? Because that's the big thing. If someone asks questions, things start to derail slightly.
I did think in the hotel room when Gilbert turns up, he might be full of questions and he has to be told, keep it down because we don't know who's listening in the rooms around us.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
I mean, it's Jack. He's going to have questions, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I did.
A buttload of them.
Yes. I did want to throw in a line. I know we're not quite there yet, but when we're at when he's talking about needing an assault team, sort of Jack saying, well, if it gets me back on the road, I'll do anything I can. But then having to accept that his life is actually over and he's probably not going to get back on the road.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's a nice one. It's a layer, baby, like an onion. I like it because, again, I said it before, if we're going to have the truck in there, we should make more use of it.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's still, at least nominally, about getting his truck back, it's his excuse for continuing.
Yeah, it's on point with his character.
Yeah.
Another thing that I did notice when we do get to the to the meeting itself and then the attack on the meeting, another link that these two films has, but it's not surprising because they're 80s films. They both feature Al Leong.
With the moustache and the dude who's just the guy who dies silently in so many movies. He's just that Chinese dude in the background dying silently. I don't think I've ever seen him in a movie where he has a line.
No, I haven't seen him in a movie where he has a line. I have seen him in a movie where he doesn't die.
Okay, alright. Which one is that? It's not Commando, is it?
No, because he's Genghis Khan in Bill and Ted.
Oh, yes, of course he is. Yes, no, he doesn't die in that movie. There you go.
But yeah, because I saw him running out of the meeting and shooting back at the cops.
I know, I love him. As an actor, I've seen him in so many things. It's like, oh, it's him again, hey.
So we keep those little anecdotal stuff about the truck. And obviously, yes, they're going to go to the meeting with the easiest contacts to put in that I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's how that works.
I mean, in terms of trying to throw up, things that might be different, do we think Jack would twig about Holly sooner?
He's a capitalist, which means he's going to have a bit of cynicism in it.
I don't know.
He's going to wonder if somebody hasn't got his back.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know because, overall, from the start, Nada is a lot more...
I'm reaching here. I recognise that I am reaching all the way on this one, guys. So tell me if I'm wrong.
Nada is a lot more suspicious, certainly at the beginning. The way that he is with Frank, he won't hook up with him until he knows who he is and things like that. And yet
you're right. I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't suspect these things. The game is not rigged.
Which means the only other point that I thought there may be a bit of a hiccup is when they get to the ballroom itself. I mean, is there anything you want to say before we get there? Because that's the only other bit that I've got.
No.
We're happy
the rest
with
of it. I feel relatively happy that the rest of it runs pretty much on rails.
Yes.
But when they get there, no, there's no way in hell Jack can keep his mouth shut.
That was my concern.
All right. Okay. So I'm going to put the book aside for a moment because obviously we're discussing other things now.
Yes. He's going to put his foot in it. He's going to say something.
He's going to say something. I don't know what it is. I'll be honest, folks. I'm really regretful about the fact that I don't have any pithy examples of what Jack might say at a time like this. But I know that a well-employed and well-experienced set of writers would be able to come up with them. So I feel safe in saying Jack comes up with something pithy at a moment like this. It's loud, it's annoying, and it gets everyone's attention.
Cool. The only counterpoint that I would say to that might stop that without having to resort to our Because movie is he's with Frank. He's been with Frank for a while. Frank has got a bit of a measure of who he is and how he is. Might stop him.
I'll say okay, as long as we understand that he'd probably stop him, but not before he had made some kind of noise.
Okay, so we can do both. He can come out with whatever it is the writers come up with to say before Frank can get to him, but that's the point when the drifter turns up. So everyone turns and looks at him, but they see that they're with him. All right, they're okay.
Okay. All right. What do you think, guys? I can't see a universe where Jack's going to keep his trap shut.
No. Well, that's what I'm saying. We allow him to say something, but we then throw in something that will nullify the situation. We allow him to stay in character,
Yeah.
but we throw in something, as I said, like the Drifter turning up going, "Hey guys, you made it here too, should have dressed up." Alright, okay, no, they're kosher.
No, actually, no, I think you've got a point.
Which I must admit, I have to make a confession.
So, gold star for avoiding a breakpoint.
Yes. Which I must admit, I have to make a confession though.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until you mentioned it last week and then I went back and rewatched the film, I never realised that he was the guy that was in the camp.
Did you not? No, that's the dude. I keep wanting to call him Bert or Burke or something like that, but he's there the whole time.
And he scrubs up so well. What can I say? It was only
Trim that beard.
Yeah, because his beard looks quite like brown in the rest of it, and it's obviously because they're indoors. It looks dark.
I'm going to give the credit to the makeup department for that one. I think they did a good job of disguising the same character with essentially the same facial characteristics, but in a totally different situation, and they did an excellent job of it.
Absolutely, it was the voice. That's the only thing that gives it away.
It's not till he speaks that you realise who he is. Yeah.
Because I was trying to figure out, so, the first time I met you, what's he talking about? They've just met. What? But obviously not.
First few times I watched it, I was like, the fuck is this dude? Seriously, who the fuck is this dude?
And a couple of nice call-outs there when they do go wandering off. Because they mention George Romero, they mention John Carpenter.
They call out all the greats. Yeah. Right, okay, so that gets us through the gala.
Yes.
Into the tour of the facility. Like when they see the airport going to Andromeda.
Yeah.
Tell me Jack doesn't say something.
Do you need a delivery driver?
Yeah, I like that actually. I do like that. Yeah, alright, okay, you win. So, second break point avoided by a whisker. And then they get up to cable 54. And they're outside the newsroom. Alright, now, it's either going to run on rails or it's going to derail really quickly at this point.
I think at this point, certainly Frank is on point. Frank, as soon as they know that they're near to where the signal is coming from. So, do we want then Frank to kind of take the lead slightly here?
Well, he can do. I mean, he can certainly direct Jack.
Yeah.
But I think that Jack is on board with Frank. I don't think they're at cross positions. No. It's what happens next that's going to start making things derail.
You mean when they start shooting?
No, I'm talking about with Holly.
Oh, with Holly, right, I see.
What do you think? I think that is going to run pretty much on rails. I mean, with a slight variation on quips before the window gets shot down.
Yeah.
That scene's going to happen. But it's when they go further into the building looking for Holly, and when they find Holly, I think reactions might be a bit different, because he's a much more hero dude, so he wants to be the man with the girl on his arm.
Of course he does. Yeah, it's true. It's very true.
He's that dude. That's what he's striving to be the whole way through. So I don't feel like he would allow Holly to fall that far back, and that's where my next breakpoint comes. It's probably the last one. We either make it or we don't.
What can we do?
It's a difficult one. It's probably going to have an incredibly simple solution, like all of these have done in the past, but
So the only way really is that if she pulls away from him, to lag behind.
Jack did leave Gracie Law behind when they were escaping the first time.
Yeah.
So I'm giving him a bit too much acuity. I think that's the right word. So I apologise, folks. I may be wrong. Maybe he would be distracted enough, because he's so close to his goal.
Exactly. And again, if he wants to be the hero, he wants to be the one to...
Be the one to do it. Yeah, of course. I think we figured a way around this.
Yeah.
Am I right? Am I?
If we have, I've got a suggestion for the ending.
Okay, go. Because at this point, I've got no further thoughts. If we get through that moment, the movie's going to happen.
If we're happy with that, he runs up, I guess, onto the roof. We get the moment where Holly shows her true colours and we lose Frank.
Goodbye, Frank. Sorry, Frank.
He stood there in front of the dish.
Did you know that was the second movie he'd ever been in? And the first one was The Thing.
No, I did not. That's fantastic.
Like I said, watch the extra features on They Live, man. There's some interviews on there.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, second movie. He didn't work for 4 years. How stupid is that?
Fantastic. Again, it's not like the thing had a hugely great reception when it first came out, did it?
But it wasn't like it was a bad performance.
No, it was good. Charles
I
was a
do
good
not
character.
understand.
Jack gets up there. He's in front of the dish. Holly
Yeah.
comes up behind him. She tells him to drop the gun.
Yeah, so we get that confrontation.
Doesn't drop the gun. He places the gun on the ground.
Okay.
Boot knife. Boot knife throws
Boot
it.
knife to the
Boot
face!
knife to the face. She fires, and it's her shot that smashes the satellite.
I love it! Have another gold star! I love it. That's fantastic. That really solves the problem, doesn't it, folks?
Which does give us the option, in the flash from the satellite dish going up, do we want Jack to get away?
Yes, I want to. Yes, I want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we gave him the out, I think he should take it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's no cathartic satisfaction to the moment.
Which I thought then if he does get away, I know we kind of glossed over it a bit in Act 1, but I always assumed that we'd get that little bit like Big Trouble in Little China with him on the CB. So the very end of the film is him on the CB,
Yeah.
and what we've actually heard is him telling the story.
Oh, yes! Yes!
Yeah.
He's just going town to town telling the story.
And maybe oh god, sorry, just popped into my head. As he's doing that, the camera pans out, the door of the cab, there's just all of the alien heads with crosses through them.
Yes.
Does that work?
I love it. I love it. I'm very happy with what Max has come up with here.
Oh, brilliant. Fantastic. So that's us done then with this one.
It is. Yes, we have reached the end of the movie.
Oh, unfortunately, I've just seen my notes for the Act 1 of the next one.
Yeah, there's a lot more that goes on in the other movie. There's a lot more.
There's a lot more to be considered considering the change of character, because
Yes.
bringing the pace of a film up because of your protagonist is one thing. Having to rein a film like this back because of your protagonist? Yeah.
Once again, folks, I'm concerned for the future.
Brilliant. Okay, so we are done for today. We will be back on Friday with Act 1 of They Live in Little China.
In Little China.
Until then, have a great Thursday, and we'll see you on Friday.
As always, guys, TTFN.
Ba 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 ba.